Hi, friends! Our story for this week is called Why Should I Recycle? And we're reading this story because on Wednesday, it's a special day called Earth Day. And on Earth Day, we want to be thinking about how we can help the earth stay clean, how we can help it grow, and what we can do to just make the earth better. So, I'm going to read a story and I'm going to be asking some questions throughout the storybook. So make sure you pay close attention. We're going to talk about who questions, where questions, what questions. We're also going to learn about what recycling is. So that might be a new word that you've never heard before, but we're going to talk about it and find out what that means. If you are one of my speech friends and you're working on certain speech sounds, I want you to do the same thing you did last week. Listen for your sounds as I'm reading the storybook, and at the end of the book, I have some words that I'll help you with that have your sounds in them. Okay, here we go. Why should I recycle? In my family, we recycle our garbage. Garbage is like trash. We return things so they can be used again. So here is the family. I see the mom, I see a dad, and I see a kid. And they are taking their trash to the recycling center. We didn't always recycle. We used to throw everything away. Wow, they made a lot of trash in their trash can. Look how tall it is. On our way to school, we always pass Mr. Jones's house. Mr. Jones is our teacher. Where do you think the kids are going? Let's look at the clues. They're wearing a backpack. And they're passing by their teacher's house. One day, we saw him putting a special box with cans, bottles, and papers by the gate. He asked, "What are you doing?" So who do you think Mr. Jones is again? Remember? We said who he was. He's going to tell us what he's doing. This box is for recycling. All these things are taken away and used again. Oh, so that makes me think that recycling is when you take old things and use them again as new things. And our friend over here says, "What's recycling?" And he says, "I'll tell you at school." In class, Mr. Jones asked us what we did with our trash. All right, class, what do you do with your trash? This friend here says, "We put it in the garbage can." It's just old garbage. Where are these friends at? Let's look at the clues. I see desks. I see pencils and books. Remember, Mr. Jones is the teacher. I want you to think about, where are the kids? Mr. Jones said garbage contained lots of useful things that can be recycled or used again. So garbage has lots of things hidden in it that we can use again? Wow. But this friend here wants to know, but why? Why should I recycle? Why is it cool to make new things out of old things? Look, he's holding, it looks like an old soda pop bottle. Mr. Jones took the class to a recycling center. It had separate containers for bottles, cans, plastic, clothes, and paper. So the class went on a field trip. Where did they go? What do you think happens to all the glass that goes in here? Asked Mr. Jones. That's a good question. Oh, one of our friends said it gets broken down to make new shiny bottles. So look at that picture. The glass is getting broken down to small pieces and then it turns into a new bottle. Wow, that's pretty cool. And guess what happens to all the cans that go in here? Asked Mr. Jones. Do you have any guesses? What do you think happens to all these cans? They get melted down to make new metal things, such as bikes and scooters. Wow! Cans can make bikes and scooters? That's pretty neat. Recycling sounds cool. And what about the paper and plastic that goes in here? Asked Mr. Jones. The paper gets shredded and used to make new books and comics. Wow, look at all that paper. There's newspaper. That's pretty cool. So can you remember what happens to all the paper and plastic that gets put in the recycling? What does it turn into? All these things come from garbage we just throw away. This plastic can be used to make all kinds of things, including clothes. You might be wearing some, said Mr. Jones. So why waste waste? Most of the garbage that we put in the trash, here's that garbage going in the trash, gets buried in dumps that spoil the countryside. That means it makes it dirty and stinky. It's good to recycle as much as you can, said Mr. Jones. That's not a very fun-looking place. I see flies and dirt. And look, she's holding her nose. And the dog is too, because I think it's stinky there. So what else can we recycle? Clothes, books, and toys that you don't want can all be taken to the secondhand store, explained Mr. Jones. That's a good place to go if you're looking for things. The food we buy at supermarkets comes in packages that can often be used again. So here they go. He's done playing with these toys, so he's going to take them to this special store so that we can go and buy them. And look here. He used an old milk jug as a planter for his plant. That's pretty clever. He says, "Don't waste waste, Mom." I told Mom and Dad about our trip to the recycling center. Now we buy recycled things at the stores. Recycled paper helps save trees. We always recycle the plastic bags too. He says, "We brought our own bags, thanks." Where do you think they are? I see a shopping cart and some food. And they brought plastic bags to the checkout line. Where do you think they are? We also recycle everything at home. Fruit and vegetable peelings get recycled on our new compost heap. That's a new word too. So when they're done cutting up their fruits and veggies and they don't need them anymore, they put them in this special box. Compost. What is compost? The compost helps my mom's prized vegetables to grow. Oh, so it turns into dirt and it helps things grow. Now we recycle so much garbage, there's hardly any left to put in the can. Recycling is kind to nature. It saves money and it's fun. Look at their trash can. Remember at the beginning of the story when it was all the way full with trash up here? And now they recycle so much, it's almost empty. It'll be easy for the garbage man to carry. And look, here they are at the beach and they're using a water jug. That's recycling too. The end. All right, friends, that was a good story. And there were a lot of new words in that story that we might not have heard of before, like recycling or compost. So I hope this book helped you learn a little bit more about what recycling is. And my speech friends, if you were listening for certain sounds, I hope you were able to find them on your own. But I'm going to show you some words or some words that have your sounds in them. If you're working on F, some words from our story. Oh, that's hard to see. I'll read them to you. Family, useful, and fun. If you're working on G, your G sound or your back sound, I heard garbage, gate, and the word again. It's kind of hard to see. There you go. If you're working on your K, your back sound, I heard the word can, second, and compost. If you're working on your L or L blends, a couple different words here. The word recycle has our L at the end. Plastic, clothing. All of those words have L's in them too. If you're working on your S blends, I heard the word school, scooter, and spoil. Remember, we can slide down our arm to help us with those words. School, scooter, spoil. So there's probably more words in there that have your sounds, but I want you to try to find them on your own, okay? And you can listen to it again if you need to hear it again. All right. So friends, that's all I have for you this week for our story. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and I will do my best to answer them for you. All right. I miss you all. Bye.